Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. Also, content over on Twitter/X and Facebook. That man over there is at Mr. Jared Moore. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. And yeah, Rip N Riff. We wish we were coming. We have a guest today, which we're really excited about. But due to the events of what happened in the South Bronx last night, there's just a tiny bit of a damper, and we'll get into that later. But Jared, other than that, how you doing?
You know, aside from being kicked in the stomach and repeatedly beaten while we're down, we're doing just fine.
Yeah, it wasn't a, sometimes it's like, oh, they lost, but it was a good game. They went right to the end. No. But we'll get into that later. Let's get to the business at hand here. We're lucky enough to have a special guest today. You might know him from the Top of the Hops podcast. Huge Elvis, LSU, and fellow Yankee fan. Mr. Mike Riker there, Top of the Hops. You can see his YouTube channel also called Top of the Hops. Mike, really good to see you.
What's up, gentlemen? How you guys doing today?
We talked about the Yankees coming in here. Other than that, doing pretty good. Always good to see you, and you're clearly on to LSU season. Go Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to pull out the Yankees hat. They won Game 5, but can't pull out the Saints hat because they're just as embarrassing. So, yeah, put out the LSU hat today. So, representing the Go Tigers today.
We know each other a very long time. You're starting to run out of teams there, Mike.
Yeah, I know. It's not going great. I got the Knicks and Rangers. So, winter and spring's here. So, all the focus will be on those two teams, too.
Yeah, and we all know each other. We were all former SiriusXM sports employees. In fact, if you think about the office we worked in, it literally went Jared, Mike, me in a row down the left side of the bullpen. So, we're all in a line today, apparently.
Yeah, it reminds me of those days, man, when we used to sit in the bullpen and talk sports and have the 3 big screen TVs in front of us. That was pretty nice.
It was a good setup. Yeah, I can't complain about that. But before we get into Rip and Rant and what we're here to rip cards. Let's see what we're ripping today. And you can see it up on the screen there. I'm going old school, some 1995 action-packed Monday Night Football edition. The action-packed ones were the ones that had like the raised players and like the textured cards. So those are pretty cool. You can see there 24 karat team, insert set, night flights, reverse angle, highlights. And then you see the rookies. Nobody huge, but Steve McNair, Joey Galloway, Slash, Tyrone Wheatley, Steve McNair. That's all what we got going on today. Now, Jared, what do you got going on today?
Yeah, we're going to do some of these Panini Score-A-Treat NFL cards. 3 cards per pack. It's a little these packs are designed just to be tossed into somebody's little basket when they're trick-or-treating their pillowcase. So we won't be doing that. We'll be ripping these packs open. Like Michael Jordan once famously said, F them kids. So we're not giving those to the kids. We're doing this on the show. And I called an audible yesterday with the Yankees lose, but we'll get into that in a second with Rip and Rant.
And those the Panini like trick-or-treat ones, like they're fun. I have a couple of those as well that I'm holding off to the side. But yeah, also looking forward to what Mike's got today. I think you got some 2024 Topps.
Yeah, I'm not a big card guy, but I did the 2024 Topps baseball cards. It's called the Fat Pack Relic and Autograph Relic cards. So you guys gonna have to walk me through this. I'm not sure what's good, what's not. So you'll have to walk me through whether each card is any worth anything. So.
On this show, generally, we don't pull a lot of stuff that's high value here. We don't have that kind of luck, or we don't spend that kind of money on those high-end packs. We're here to just rip cards and have a good time.
Cool.
And by the way, I buried the lead. Happy Halloween. I mean, we're a little thrown off by the Bronx Bombers and stuff, but happy Halloween to everybody out there. Hope you have a nice costume. You have a good time. Stay safe. But it's time to get to one of our favorite segments here, and today should be a good one. So without further ado. It's time to kick things off on Rip and Riff with
my Rip and Rant.
Thanks, Dave. And there we go. Like we said, we're all Yankee fans here today. I'd say of the 3 of us, like I'm probably like at the bottom in terms of like passion for them. So I'm going to give the floor to Jared. He speaks for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was as emblematic of a loss for the Yankees as I think one could possibly be. And, for those who are living under a rock or they didn't watch the game last night, here's all you need to know for the game last night. They're down 3-1 in the series. The Yankees are up 5-0 going to the 5th inning. Cole is cruising. And then it's just a comedy of errors, one after another. Judge drops a fly ball to center. Volpe makes a bad throw to third baseman that Jazz can't come up with instead of taking, a sure out at first base. Tricky play there. Cole actually bounces back after that. He strikes out Lux. He strikes out Ohtani. So, a little bit of a jam that, he's that close to wiggling his way out of. And he gets what he needs. He gets the ground ball to first base to Rizzo. And then Cole's controller was unplugged. He just forgot to cover first base. And, before you know it, like LA, the Dodgers were dead in that game. They were dead going into the fifth inning. And instead they gave him life. And, the rest is history. They go on to win the World Series. And look, it'd be one thing if it was just like that one bad inning being an isolated incident. But this is just emblematic of all the Yankee flaws being on full display. I didn't even get into bad base running with Jazz almost getting thrown out as second baseman on the go-ahead sac fly by Stanton. I didn't get into the catcher's interference in the eighth inning that cost the Yankees a run. I didn't get into the balk in the ninth inning because they disengaged too many times. All those mistakes are in just one game, and that's not counting all the other mistakes that this team consistently made throughout the year. Bad base running, bad defense, bad routes to fly balls, errors. That's not even counting questionable decisions by the manager, who doesn't seem to have any idea what he's doing. And look, I don't want to make it sound like I'm not giving the Dodgers credit for not winning this World Series. Like they deserve to win the World Series. And like, I'm not naive enough to think that if the Yankees had won last night, they go back to LA down 3-2, that they could somehow pull the series out. But that said, you can't give the Dodgers 6 outs in one goddamn inning and not have it come back and bite you in the ass. You can't make that many stupid mistakes against a great team and expect to get away with it. And this is the type of loss, like, not only is it going to sting all winter long, if the Yankees were serious about winning, somebody would be fired today. I'm dead serious, because like, you can't just make that many basic, like, this is little league stuff that the big bad New York Yankees can't figure out. And the Yankees, the part of the why they were the New York Yankees in the 90s with their dynasty is they made all the right plays. They made all the right fundamental plays, and they did all the little things on the field, and now it's the opposite. So that's all I got to say about the Yankees, man.
How sometimes, like, when you're going out on a date and like things are going well and you kind of get lost in someone's eyes, I got lost in that rant. That was just top notch there. Like, the only thing I will add to that is it was a stark contrast from the first half of the game to the second half of the game. Like you said, they were cruising. In the back of your mind, you're like, all right, it's going back to LA. We'll see what happens, but at least it's going back to LA. But in the back of your mind, it's like, it's 5-0 and it's the Dodgers. If there's ever a team that you could say is never out of it, it's probably them. And like you said, you can't give them 6 outs in an inning because they're going to do damage with it. And the dam caved in.
Yeah, it's a microcosm of their season, right, guys? I mean, they started off so well, then they had that 11-24 record, I think, in the middle of the season, where they looked like what they did last night. For guys who haven't watched the Yankees, I mean, this is what they were all season. I'm not one of those guys who, like, I'm a positive Yankee fan. I don't like, saying, oh, this guy should be fired, this guy should be fired. But I will say this, I've watched a lot. I've been watching the Yankees since '76. Last night, that might have been the most embarrassing performance on the big stage I've ever seen from a Yankee team. I mean, I mean, you can go back to 2004 and talk about those games, but as far as just one game in particular, this one was, I mean, on another level. I mean, that inning is going to be remembered forever.
Right.
In a bad way,
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one thing to get beat, and it's another thing to just no-show. Like, and there have been plenty of Yankee losses in the playoffs over the last 2 decades where the Yankees just no-showed, like Game 6 in 2003 against Josh Beckett, where they just couldn't hit him. Like, perfect example. That's an instance where they just get beat. But to beat yourselves in that manner and just completely, self-implode is just unacceptable.
Yeah, and with everything that went on that fifth inning, they still had a chance to get out of it. That's just the crazy thing, If Rizzo runs to the bag or if Cole covers, whichever one, they're out of the inning and it's still 5-0. And then you're thinking, they're going to be a Game 6, and then things change because even though they needed 2 more games, the Dodgers would have been the ones with the pressure on. So yeah, it was that one was one of the roughest losses I've ever experienced as a Yankee fan.
Now, it probably did save us from Carlos Rodon, shitting his pants in Game 6. Yeah. So I guess there's that. But
yeah, but
and the Yankees not hitting Yamamoto in Game 6. But
but
you got to worry about Game 6 when you get there.
Yeah, I think we would have felt a lot better if they had won last night and lost maybe a close one, Game 6. We could. I think I could have grinned and bared that one. The Dodgers were just better, and at least we went down swinging. But boy, that was rough last night.
Yeah, and to make it worse, I've been opening these Topps packs throughout the entire MLB postseason just because it brought us good vibes and the Yankees went on a deep run. And that was my plan today, was to open one of these Topps packs because the Yankees were in the postseason. Now the postseason's over, so this will go into the shelf for next year.
Yeah, that one goes away. It had a nice run, but yeah, and I agree with Mike. Like, not to say like, okay, we would have been happy if they had lost in LA, but it would have been more digestible, to get back to LA. And like at the beginning of the year, we said the Yankees have to get to the World Series. Like then they get into the playoffs, and they couldn't have had an easier path than they had. Like it was just lined up for them, but then they run into the Dodgers. So like, yeah, there's that like, but it's still just for it to go down the way it went down. It was uncomfortable to watch. So apologies to anybody like Rob Pepitone that were actually in the building that had to view that.
Oh God, he went last night.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. So Rob, we love you. Rip N Riff loves you, Rob.
Now I have somebody to blame.
I blame Fat Joe. Didn't they play Fat Joe right before the fifth inning on the screen? That's why I heard.
Or they showed him on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. I blame
zero
Fat
self-awareness. Joe. Oh, and by the way, talking about showing things on the screen, can we not play New York, New York after the Dodgers win the World Series on Yankee Stadium? Can we not do that?
Like the Rangers have a losing song when like it's like this stupid little like almost sounds like a kid's birthday party thing. We've all heard it if you've been to a Rangers game at the Garden when they lose. That's what you play in that situation. Or you just don't play anything. Just don't play
nothing. Yeah, the Yankees used to play the Liza Minnelli version of New York, New York after losses, and then they stopped doing that because like I guess her estate complained about it or whatever. Just play nothing. Let the Dodgers have their moment. If you want to play, if you want to tailor it to the Dodgers and play like some Southern California rap, like be my guest. I don't really care, but you can't play New York, New York after the Dodgers win the World Series in Yankee Stadium. Unacceptable.
Randy Newman's "I Love LA." That's they played that. So at the Kings game last night, they were showing the World Series game during the intermission, and then like they clinched during the game, and they were playing. They like had a moment there for it. So like, yeah, it was, yeah. What are you gonna do? But one way to make yourself feel better is maybe we rip some packs here. We get back to Mike's baseball cards later. We'll take a break from the baseball for a little bit, and we'll get to some Halloween cards as well. I'm doing some 95 Monday Night Football themed action packed cards here. My Rip Cam not working today, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go old school here. But let's get up on the screen. Go. All right, so let's see what we got here. So remember Jeff Blake? He had quite the couple of seasons in Cincinnati after being the Jets' third string backup for a little while there.
Former New Orleans Saint too.
Yeah. Good looking card. It's got the gold at the top inlay and all that. I like that. We're off to a good start. Now here's a guy I got to meet in Vegas briefly. Hall of Fame wide receiver Michael Irvin. He could take over games. He was strong.
He's called a playmaker for a reason.
Every time I think of Michael Irvin, I think of Philly when he went down with that knee injury and they cheered.
Yeah, they threw batteries at him. Oh man.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, the guy might have a career-ending neck injury. Let's cheer when he goes down.
Right.
Although I guess after the week the Yankees fans have had, we're probably one to talk when it comes to
good point.
Some unruly fans. I don't even want to say unruly because I'm going to give those Yankee fans that interfere with Mookie Betts their flowers. Like that was the spark the team needed, and I actually thought they were going to go on a run after that. And then the one guy who was like mocking Freddie Freeman when they're doing the stand up to cancer thing, I was like, all right, that's a little much.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, a little bit. What do we got here? We got so this is they're stuck together. We got a little bit of bricking in this pack. I'm like, it says Bam Morris on the front, but Ricky Waters on the back. So there's Bam Morris right there, one of the better running back names.
Yeah.
It was him and like Barry Foster for a little while there in Pittsburgh, if I recall correctly.
That's right.
Yeah, it's an S tier football name. I love me some Bam Morris.
Now we got a Monday Night Classics insert here of Ricky Waters, a former starting lineup figure 5 candidate that did not get opened a few weeks ago. Might also remember him at the Seahawks and the they're the Niners, but they got the little Eagles logo there as he was traded there. Let's see what else we got in this pack here.
By the way, Mike, I don't know if you know this. If you go back and open some of these old school packs, you're going to see a lot of that with the cards like sticking together.
Oh, I'm sure. Is that where the gum was? Why is it sticking together?
No, I think it's just like the glossy cards from like that era. It's just you're opening these packs like 20.
They've been sealed for 30 years. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a Lorenzo White here, pictured with the Houston Oilers. Classic look. You see all the 75th anniversary patches on the jersey, so all these pictures from the 94 season. You want to talk about draft busts? Look no further than Rick Meyer.
Oof.
I mean, he made a career for himself as a backup, but when you want to be second overall, that's not how things want to. That's not what you expect. Now, a guy
him and Brady Quinn very similar.
That's a very good comparison. Now, guy that's pretty much the opposite end of the spectrum from them. And a man who I've mentioned on Rip N Riff a few times that has ruined many a Sunday from my childhood, Mr. Dan Marino.
Fake spike.
Yeah, we've gotten into that. I think we've gotten into enough like salt and wound moments today. We're not going down that path. That's a good Marino action shot there.
It is.
Yeah, especially with the way the Jets have been going the last few weeks and how many times I've just stuck the knife in there on Adam with the Jets. Like, I want to give him a little bit of a break here.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Rangers are playing well out of the gate, but there's that Igor Shesterkin contract hanging over like a huge meatball in the sky. So we wrap up pack 1 of the Action Pack 95 Monday Night Football with a guy you can't call a bust because he just got injured and never got a chance, Kajana Carter.
Yeah, another former Saint too, Kajana Carter.
What he tore like it was either an Achilles or an ACL or something.
Yeah, I think it was an ACL. Yeah, he was tremendous at Penn State. Him and Kerry Collins were on that team. But yeah, they were great in '94.
Like this, like if he doesn't tear his ACL, maybe this card is actually really worth something today.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not the case. Not a bad pack, by the way. I'll take that. That was solid.
Got a lot of name value in that pack.
Let's keep the name value roll. Definitely some more bricking in this one. Let's keep the name value rolling with another one of my favorite quarterbacks there, Warren Moon, pictured as a Viking there.
Yeah, one of our favorites on the show.
Now he had like a Hall of Fame career in the CFL before he even got to the NFL, if I'm not mistaken, with Edmonton, I believe.
Yeah, Edmonton Eskimos, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, he was. That was a guy that probably one of those guys that deserves a ring that doesn't have one. We got current NFL analyst Chris Spielman, although I think he's back with the Lions now.
Yeah, he's got some sort of front office gig with the Lions, and Warren Moon might have picked up a Super Bowl ring with the Seahawks when they won that championship.
That's right, because he was the radio analyst.
Yeah, he might have a Super Bowl ring from that doing the games.
I mean, listen, I'm sure it means a lot. I'm sure like he cherishes it as a member of the broadcast team of the Seahawks, but it's not the same as getting one on the field, with the Lombardi Trophy, I feel like. So it's a little different.
I mean, put it this way, like, we've been talking a lot about the World Series in this show. You're Clayton Kershaw. You just picked up your second World Series ring yesterday. I would say it still counts.
True.
Even though like he was hurt and didn't really do anything on the team this year.
All right. Well, if one Warren Moon wasn't enough, how about a second Warren Moon, another Monday Night Classic insert? These have both been good packs. I'm going to have to go back to this eBay seller, but there he is with the gold inlay there. So there we go. A lot of Warren Moon here.
Yeah, when I think
now,
of
that
Warren
one says
Moon, go ahead, Gary.
Go ahead, Mike.
When I think of Warren Moon, I think of the comeback by the Buffalo Bills, unfortunately, because he was the quarterback of the Oilers in that 35-3 comeback by Buffalo back in '92, I think, or '93.
Yeah, '92, I think.
Yeah, but those Houston Oilers teams were. I mean, it was ahead of its time. That run and shoot offense. I mean, he was passing for almost 4,000 yards almost every year.
You're right. Though I'm surprised nobody's tried to dust off. I guess maybe with the rule changes nowadays, it's not as easy to do, or for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm surprised nobody's tried to give the K gun offense or the run and shoot a try again. I mean,
now this is like a whole Monday Night Football series of cards. Is this something where it's like it's a Monday night theme between all the players, where like here's pictures of them from playing on Monday night, or is it just that's just the branding they happen to go with?
So it's a branding, but then the insert set when it says Monday Night Classics, it actually tells you about like one of their like key or highlight Monday night performances. Like coming up here, you got Brett Favre with the Packer throwback before he was stealing funds from the state of Mississippi.
Allegedly. We don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Brett has quickly matured into one of the NFL's top quarterbacks, blah, 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 blah. Brett also ran for 2 key touchdowns, including a 35-yard run during a rain-soaked Monday night contest at Chicago. So, yeah, they just tell you like about a big Monday night performance. Same thing for Warren Moon here on this. It was apparently a Vikings-Giants game that they won in the Meadowlands on Monday night. Another secret. Go ahead.
I was going to say, remember when Monday Night Football used to mean something?
Yeah.
All right, here's something people forget about that edition of Monday Night Football. It kicked off at 9:08 Eastern time.
Wow.
So like, think about how like now like people wouldn't even want to stay up for that now. I remember my dad would let me stay up for the first quarter, and that was it. Had to go to bed, and then I would wake up in the morning. There'd be a little piece of paper with the score written on it. Like that's how late Monday Night Football kicked off when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's been all watered down ever since they include Sunday Night Football and Thursday Night Football. So, Monday night used to be such a special time. Now it's just another game.
Although I will say I like Buck and Aikman better on ESPN. I feel like they're allowed to just kind of like do what they want. I feel like they're one of the better play-by-play teams out there for NFL still.
Yeah, it helps that they've been together forever, and it helps, they're under the ESPN umbrella a little bit now, but I mean, Buck and Aikman is as good as it gets when it comes to calling these games.
And listen, I know that people still hate it.
I hate the 2 Monday night games at once too. Do you guys enjoy that? I think it's terrible.
I don't like the 2 Monday night games at once, but what I do miss, and I know you can't do it all the time, but like when they would do a double header with an actual West Coast friendly time, like a 7:30.
Yeah.
Once a season, maybe early in the season, closer to the holidays when you're trying to like fill out this, like it would be nice to have that a couple of times a year, but I get from a rating standpoint that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you have half the country already asleep at kickoff. Right. So
I also didn't like what they did this past one when they threw the second game behind the ESPN Plus paywall.
That's another thing. If you're going to put 2 games on, at least make it so I can flip back and forth just in case one's a bomb. I mean, I have ESPN Plus for the hockey because it's the only way I can watch the Rangers. But yeah, I understand why they're trying to do it. They're trying to get people to sign up and get subscriber numbers up. But like, I feel like the NFL is the one sport where it's like you can't really do that for big games, and I'm scared that they're going to do it for big playoff games, like later round playoff games, not just like a Saturday night wild card game. Okay, whatever. Sucks, but it's a wild card.
I mean, we're already seeing it. NBC put the Chiefs Dolphins game last year in the playoffs on Peacock. And you can say whether or not it's actually behind a paywall. I'm not subscribed to Peacock, so I don't really give a shit. But like, if you're gonna make me jump through that many hoops to watch your product, I'm not gonna do it. I'm sorry.
And I believe the Christmas games are Netflix games this year.
Yeah, they are. They are Netflix games.
Yeah. Usually that's the NBA's day, but the NFL had to get involved. So that should be interesting to see what the rating is going to be like.
The NFL is always going to do better. That's just how it is. The NFL is always like, and if I'm the NBA, I'd be pissed about that. It's like, like, can we have one day? Like if Christmas falls on a Sunday, whatever, fine. We know Sunday's your day of the week, but come on, man. Like that was the NBA's. It was Christmas Day. Like, New Year's Day is college football. Yeah, the NHL has the outdoor game, and that's nice, but it's still about the bowls on New Year's Day. You already own Sundays. You already have Monday night. You have Thursday nights now for half the year. Like, come on, man.
We saw that a couple of years ago when Christmas fell on a Sunday. The NFL threw most of the games on that Saturday.
Christmas Eve. So, yeah. I'm never going to cry about having more sports on, but it was one in a few days of the year where I'm like, all right, I'll actually, I'll watch basketball today. But let's wrap up this pack here. We got Jeff George and the throwback Falcons look here. Look at that. They need to go back to that look full time.
Yeah, I can see them busting that out. Didn't they break out the red helmets earlier this year?
Yeah, they did that earlier this year. I mean, Jeff George, talk about another, highly touted bust. There's another one. Let's see here. We got Darren Fletcher. The night is young. And so it's been a pretty interesting pack. Like the old school San Diego Charger look there. And then we'll go back-to-back charges here. The late, great Junior Seau. Talk about, if you were going to put like a linebacker in a textbook, Junior Seau's got to be mentioned in there, like with what you're looking for.
Yeah, I would say him or Derek Thomas, probably.
Especially from that era. Like those guys, AFC West was rough back then. And then speaking of the old AFC West, that was when the Seahawks were back there. We closed Pack 2 with Chris Warren. There we go.
And going back to Monday Night Football and the AFC West, like there was nothing better than like when Monday Night Football was Monday Night Football, you got like a Chiefs Raiders game.
Yes.
you just get to watch that. It's awesome.
I mean, people forget, but not us, because we lived in a pre-direct TV or package era now on YouTube. You got your local games, you got your Sunday night game when it used to be on it was TNT half the year and ESPN the other half. I don't have cable, so I'd have to listen on Westwood One. And then you got the Monday night game on ABC. And then that was it. That's all you got. So like if you didn't get it, unless your team was playing like the Chiefs or like, you didn't get to see a lot of these teams, especially in New York, because with the old blackout rules, you couldn't go against the home team with the Jets or the Giants. So more often than not in New York, you just got the Jets and the Giants. You didn't get that third, nationally televised game if it violated the rules of going against a team at home.
Every so often you would get the doubleheader on either CBS or Fox, and you would get that extra game every so often. I'm just thinking back of watching football pre-Red Zone channel.
I know.
Those were the Stone Ages.
You remember getting excited when you would hear like the tone go off because the scroll bar was about to go across the screen? You're like, all right, score update. Or you're going to go back to New York and actually see a highlight from another game. It was almost the same feeling as like, watching the Scrambled channel and then making out a picture for a second. Like, oh, I got to sneak peek at a different game.
Exactly. Except instead of looking for scrambled boobs, you're like, did Wayne Bowe score a touchdown?
Wow, Wayne Bowe. Wow. That was a good pull. Wayne Bowe. LSU guy too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It was, yes, absolutely. Yeah, Kansas City Chief.
Why do you think I pulled that out for our guest?
I mean, you didn't bring up Odell Beckham, who's complaining about his role in the Miami Dolphins offense.
Geez.
How old are we, Odell? I don't know if you got it anymore.
Yeah,
but,
he'll never change.
It is who he is, but we'll keep the football rolling here. Jared, you got some Panini Score-A-Treats there?
Oh, yeah, I do. If you don't mind pulling up the East Coast cam, that would be greatly appreciated.
There we go. I muted it for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm such an idiot, and I forgot to do it myself. So that's all wonderful and good. And all right, so I like these cards. Nice little Halloween theme, and you got it's not much, but you get a couple cards per pack. So you got Zay Flowers here. The Baltimore Ravens making a trade for a receiver this week with Deontay Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see how that receiver room's impacted. Jaquan Brisker with the Chicago Bears.
Part of a secondary that is not a secondary that wants to be talked about this week.
No, not quite. And a Rising Stars rookie card with Cooper DeJean or DeJean, cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's like a mug. It looks like a mug shot.
It does.
By the way, Tyreek Stevenson should send the Yankees an edible arrangement because now he's not he's taken off. Like that's forgotten news already.
I don't know. I remember when a guest came on this show and was talking about Tyreek Stevenson and how it was the greatest trade ever. So I don't know. Maybe they know something I do. Shout out to Bill. Antonio Gibson here with the New England Patriots. Here, picture with the Commanders. Kind of I don't know. Gibson's a weird one. Like, had a great start to his career, and then kind of just showed that he was just a guy. Jaheim Bell, tight end with the Patriots, and yeah, same deal. So
you're getting some rookies, and they're not great rookies, but we're pulling some rookies.
No, they're not. I mean, you only get 3 cards per pack, so it kind of is what it is. And Shaq Thompson to finish up this pack. So, I mean, it's cool. You get the Halloween theme. I mean, I would say these holiday cards pale in comparison to the Topps MLB ones. When
the holiday ones,
like candy canes and stuff like that. By the way, I gotta see if I can score a few packs of that with that.
Thank you for reminding me. It's, we're November's tomorrow, so holidays are fast approaching.
Yeah, so that should be fast approaching. So, Yeah, I mean, those packs kind of are what they are. I mean, look, these packs are designed to literally be thrown into somebody's pillowcase when they're trick-or-treating. So, like, again, I didn't really expect anything to come out from that. Now, I mentioned earlier I wanted to do baseball, and obviously the Yankees decided to go and ruin that and ruin the sport for me for a few months. So I decided, in honor of our guest, because once upon a time we both worked on a very prestigious show, Busted Open.
That's right.
I decided I was going to do some wrestling cards. So I got a pack of 2021 WWE cards. I figured I'd do that in honor of our guest here because, you know, why not? Because, you know, I'm appreciative of Mike and him being a very influential person early in my career and giving me an opportunity to, you know, make sure that I wasn't going to be, you know, working in a restaurant like 2 years into my radio career. So
those are my favorite times over at Sirius.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah,
you know, it was certainly a throwback. So I don't really know what to expect from these cards. So let's start with I guess this is like a moments card. So WWE champion Drew McIntyre defeats Dolph Ziggler in an Extreme Rules match.
Okay.
I'm not really a fan of the WWE Extreme Rules matches. I am a big fan of both of these particular wrestlers, and you know, I mean, the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud is probably the feud of the year in terms of
absolutely
pro wrestling. Just like the promos, and you know, I feel like they actually don't like each other in real life, which I think adds to it.
Yeah, and their Hell in a Cell match was a throwback, and we actually saw some blood.
Yeah, so certainly like to see that there. One of the biggest actors in Hollywood today. No, it's not Dwayne. It's our buddy Dave, Dave Bautista.
Dave.
Yeah, who? Here's a hot take. I think Dave's a better actor than Dwayne. I think his movies are better, and I think he's a better actor.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. I think you're absolutely correct.
How dare you talk about Maui that way?
Look, I know Moana 2 is coming out soon, but like I just enjoy Dave's movies better than, and maybe it's because Dave was in all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and he was just great as Drax, and that certainly influenced my opinion, but I just feel like he just has more range as an actor as well.
I completely agree. Especially lately with The Rock. His movies have not been great.
No. Black Adam? No, I'll pass on that one. Let's see. Dolph Ziggler sends Otis into a rage. I don't even remember this, but a nice pic there of the show off. That's what I like to think I look like with long hair, but I look nothing like that.
One of the current hosts on Busted Open on Fridays.
Yeah, and the current TNA World Champion as well. So shout out to him. Let's see. I can't believe this guy is still as good as he is at this stage of his career. Nice little RKO insert here.
That's a
phenomenal source. So you got Randy Orton here hitting the RKO on AJ Styles. Really, both of them. Just the fact that they're both, you know, still performing at such a high level at this stage of their career, but Randy in particular.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't follow wrestling, but I mean,
I've never seen him. Yeah, I mean, he looks bigger and better than ever.
Let's see. The Street Profits defeat Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. I don't even know who Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink are, but shout out to the Street Profits.
That's going.
I was kind of hoping for like a rookie card here, but it looks like this is more of like WWE moments. John Morrison defeats Big E. Hopefully Big E's doing well in his recovery after that, what probably is a career-ending neck injury.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our guy, Drew McIntyre, the chosen one.
Drew's a stud.
And every time I see Drew, I think of Agazi on the opening drive playing Drew McIntyre's theme for Marty Schottenheimer. Coming out of breaks, and Marty loving that song.
Oh, my God.
Rest in peace, Marty, and shout out Agazi. That's another guy we should try and maybe reach out to. I bet you he would come on.
Oh, he would definitely come on, especially if I told him, hey, let's rip some wrestling cards. He would 100% come on.
Absolutely.
We'll do wrestling and tennis.
I've got the tennis cards, so.
Yeah, I know. I need to get some. But, yeah, that's overall a solid pack there. But I know it's Mike's turn, and Even though I had no interest in doing baseball, I'm very curious to see what he's got here.
Yeah, like I say, you guys have to walk me through it. So I'm gonna rip these open. So it's been so long since I've had ripped open a baseball card. My son's in the basketball cards. He's got a couple of Victor Wembanyama rookie cards that he's happy with. So
I forgot the Lucy.
Oh,
I have it. We could do that, but let's let Mike do his cards first.
sure.
all right. Let's from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. No clue who this is. Griffin Canning.
Yeah, he's a starting pitcher.
Yeah,
he's not really anything noteworthy.
Oh boy. So let's talk about the World Series MVP, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah,
Hold the card a little higher, just so we don't see it.
Yeah,
but yeah, he had. Yeah, I mean that gets kind of lost into the Yankees' demise. Is he just had an unbelievable series for the ages? One of the probably all-time great performances we'll still be talking about in 20 years.
Yeah,
Freddie Freeman showed he's a first ballot Hall of Famer in this series, like without question,
and a good dude too.
Yeah, and like knowing the Freddie Freeman backstory and like knowing everything like his family's been through this year, like how can you not root for a guy like that? Like I know we're rooting for the Yankees, but like if the Yankees can't win, you want to see somebody like Freddie Freeman win.
Yeah, definitely. From the Tampa Bay Rays, I won't call them the Devil Rays. This is outfielder Josh Lau.
All right. I like the look of those cards, by the way. Like the neon lights. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. We have shortstop David Hamilton from the Boston Red Sox.
All right. Let's.
I think he was one of those guys that stole like 17 bases against the Yankees in that Sunday night game earlier this year.
That sounds like the Yankees. All right, another nice one here. Of course, the great Mike Trout.
If you're Mike Trout, how do you feel this morning seeing Shohei?
Oh, good point.
You know, like first year out. I mean, granted, he went to the Dodgers. It's not like he went to like the Reds and went on this like Cinderella run. But I mean, still, he left and he won. If you're Trout, that's tough, especially right across town.
I mean, if Mike Trout could stay healthy for longer than 10 seconds, I would say, hey, that would make a lot of sense for the Yankees when they lose Juan Soto to the Mets.
Yeah,
you put him in left field.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't know who this is either. And Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Nolan Schanuel. Is that how you say it, guys? I don't know. No,
not sure.
Yeah. So
right.
we also have from the Baltimore Orioles, Topps All-Star rookie Yennier Cano.
Yannick Cano, yeah, one very Yennier Cano, excuse me, yeah, very good reliever late in the games for them. Although I don't know that he was as good this year.
Yeah, I feel like Mad Dog Russo pronouncing these names. Shortstop outfielder from Minnesota Twins, Willie Castro.
He was a solid player this year. He kind of like one of those like Swiss Army knife, can play all over the field guys. Does all right hitting the ball. Not a power guy, but
another rookie card, shortstop for the Miami Marlins, Jacob Amaya.
The Marlins have kind of become like just one of those bottom feeder franchises that never stay, that never rise. Like if it wasn't for the A's, they would probably be considered the laughing stock.
Yeah,
I mean they're a farm team to the bigger and better franchises in baseball. Let's call it like we see it. So congratulations to Chaz Chisholm with his call up to the major leagues earlier this year when he got traded.
we love the call up.
From the Houston Astros, very good left-handed pitcher, Framber Valdez.
It was nice to not see the Astros deep in the playoffs for once.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the reason why the Yankees went as deep as they did is because they didn't run into the Framber Valdez and the Astros, because Valdez is one of those guys the Yankees never hit. They just never hit him.
No longer with the Tampa Bay Rays, but here is Randy Arozarena. Very good postseason player.
Do we put?
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's pimping a double on second base, probably against the Yankees.
From the St. Louis Cardinals, outfielder Tyler O'Neill.
He had a good season. He had an up and down season, but when he was good, he was good.
Yeah, he was very good early for the Red Sox this past season.
Another rookie card from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm going to screw this name up. Carmen Lodzinski.
I think you did all right. It's a good action shot.
Yeah, too bad it's not a Paul Skeens card.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that when you said rookie Pittsburgh Pirates, and I was like, I don't really have any Skeens shares here, so maybe that's something I should sort of look into a little bit.
This guy's a free agent. Maybe the Yankees might want to take a look at him for their first base, but probably not. Christian Walker from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
He would make a lot of sense for them. Big time power hitter. I mean, pretty good defensive first baseman as well, I believe. So
yes, absolutely.
He would make a ton of sense because I don't think Rizzo's got a lot left in the tank. Although I do think Rizzo had a good October for the most part, but
yeah, but he lost some weight. He did not hit a homer since June something. His power is just it's gone. Yeah. From the Cincinnati Reds, pitcher Alexis Diaz.
Nice. I like that.
That is Edwin's brother.
Oh yeah.
Another good postseason player from the Philadelphia Phillies, Mr. Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, that guy rakes.
I love how Schwarber bats leadoff for him, and he's the furthest thing from like your prototypical leadoff hitter. You think leadoff hitter, you think like small, speedy guy, slap hitter, gets on base. No, it's like this is a beer league softball player who's just going to hit like 45 bombs.
Right. Yeah, it's funny how Aaron Boone thought about moving Judge to the leadoff spot in Game 4. That would have been interesting. For the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, outfielder Joe Adell.
That is shout out Tyler Soto. That is, I believe, a curse word to him, if I'm recalling correctly.
Although I feel like Joe Adell had a decent season this year. He's never going to live up to his top prospect status, but I feel like he had a pretty decent year, all things considered.
For the New York Mets, pitcher Jose Quintana.
Yeah, he did a good job for them as sort of your veteran innings eater.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
Feels a lot better going into the offseason as a Mets fan than a Yankee fan, probably.
From the Cleveland Guardians, pitcher Gavin Williams.
That's a nice rookie card right there.
That is a nice rookie card. Didn't really do much against the Yankees in the ALCS. I think they started him in one of the games and he kind of got shelled, but
yes, that's right. From the Colorado Rockies, left-handed pitcher Austin Gomber.
Well, we talked about actually bottom franchises that serve as AAA feeders to the majors. That's also they're like the West Coast version of the Marlins.
They would be if they actually developed any players that were worth a damn.
Fair point.
Seattle Mariners pitcher George Kirby.
Team that just can't get over.
And we go back-to-back Mariners with another pitcher, Emerson Hancock.
I do like those Mariner jerseys.
I do too. And then we have from the Texas Rangers, Nathaniel Lowe.
They'll bounce back next year for sure.
That's like that's a weird jersey.
Probably with a City Connect jersey.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the Rice jersey.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing these. That's like a little weird. We'll go back to the Angels. A lot of the Angels in these cards. Victor Medeiros.
Yeah, that's what the kids want these days. Is a lot of LA Angels in their baseball card packs.
Exactly. That's the.
I mean, at least they got Trout, but
another big free agent coming up here. The New York Mets, Pete Alonso.
That's gonna be another guy where if the Yankees have need of first base, assuming the Yankees don't, whether they keep Soto or not, like Alonso would be another guy who just would make a ton of sense for the Yankees.
Yeah. Stars of MLB, San Francisco Giants, Marco Luciano.
Oh, I really like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool card, actually. It says MLB Pipeline's 15th ranked prospect. So another stars of the MLB. This is a cool card, Mr. Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
Those are cool. We like those.
I don't love those Padre jerseys.
No, neither do I. Then we go back to the Mets. Pitcher Grant Hartwig.
Love you, Grant Hartwig. I've never heard of you.
Yeah, neither have I. So, someone we all have heard of, the Seattle Mariners, Mr. Julio Rodriguez.
A lot of Mariners.
Pretty good player.
Very West Coast on the back.
Yeah, a lot of American League West teams here.
Yeah. Oh wait.
And we continue with that trend with the Houston Astros. Second baseman outfielder Mauricio Dubon.
I think they'll be back next year too.
And then we go to the St. Louis Cardinals with the Mr. Brendan Donovan.
Cardinals too, another team. Not there yet. Can't count them out next year.
To the Boston Red Sox, pitcher Nick Robertson. And then we got Mr. for the Cubs, Dansby Swanson.
You're getting a nice variety in this pack. Pack that keeps going and going and going, by the way. Yeah. I feel like you've gone through about 75 cards. So
yeah, I know. We got three more left here. And New York Yankees, Mr. Obviously a big news with Nestor Cortez Jr. with that relief appearance in Game 1. I don't blame him. I don't blame him necessarily. I give him a lot of credit for going out there. Obviously, he risked a lot by going out there and pitching. So I like Nestor. National League leaders. So we have Spencer Strider, 20 wins. Zach Gallen, 17 wins. Justin Seal, 16 wins. So that's National League wins leaders. And then we end the pack with a pretty good one. Kansas City Royals MVP candidate, Bobby Witt Jr.
I like that card a lot.
Yeah.
This is overall a very good pack.
Yeah, not bad. I'm pretty happy with this pack. Nice ones there.
Nice variety of rookies, of star players, of future Hall of Famers. We certainly like that. Adam, do you have the I Love Lucy video ready?
I sure do.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I meant to do this earlier, and I completely forgot about it until Riker mentioned basketball cards. So last week we did a whole bunch of NBA cards, and I'm not a big NBA collector, but I have my guys that I love. Like I'm a big Dame guy. Like he's one of my favorite players in the league right now. One of my other favorite players, like just all time, is Dirk Nowitzki. So I decided to jump on a 1998 Topps PSA Mint 9 Dirk Nowitzki rookie card.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very
so
nice.
That is our Lucy, I Love Lucy pull of the day.
Congrats on the addition to the collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where the NBA collection is going to go. I mean, the other guy I kind of wanted to get at some point is Kobe, but Kobe is just so freaking expensive that I don't know what direction I'm going to wind up going in when it comes to that. But Dirk was not that much, so I can't complain there. And that's a first ballot Hall of Famer, former champion, former MVP, and probably a top 20-ish, 25-ish player all time. So,
did you guys see the news about the Michael Jordan card that's out there with the Menendez brothers sitting in the front row at Madison Square Garden? It's going for a lot of money.
I think that's a Mark Jackson card.
Yes, but now there's also a Michael Jordan card, 94 card that's actually going out for a lot of money, supposedly, with Joe Wilkins. I was defending him, and with Jordan and you see the Menendez brothers on the bottom right there. So that's going for a lot of money, supposedly.
Let me see if I can find a big enough picture to bring up of that. I see what you're talking about there. Let's see. There we go. Look at that. I guess
there it is.
They got to sit. I guess it's from the same game, but I mean, that's. I mean, actually, no, it couldn't be because this card is a few years after the Skybox Mark Jackson one.
Right. Yeah. Jackson was 1990, I believe.
It was like in 1991 or something like that. But yeah, so they were going to a lot of basketball games. Good for them. And I hope they enjoyed them while they did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Michael, I mean, Michael, you mentioned Kobe Bryant just being impossible to get into at this point. So Michael Jordan's another one. Like if it's got a picture of, it could be a wrapper that has Michael Jordan on it. If that wrapper's in good shape, you might get $5 to $10 for that wrapper. It's insane. But before we wrap things up here on a wonderful edition, we thank Mike Riker for Top of the Hops podcast. Well, by the way, what beer are you drinking today? I didn't even ask.
It's a Louisiana beer. It's called Purple Haze, Abita.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a simple raspberry lager. So very simple, easy to drink. From Louisiana, so I had to pop that open today.
There you go. And so when do episodes of Top of the Hops drop?
So it varies. Usually on the weekends. I do have one coming up this weekend with, and Jared will know the name of this guy, Al Castle from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. We actually didn't talk wrestling. We actually did top 5 Bon Jovi songs. So that'll be dropping up on Top of the Hops on Sunday. There's a lot of episodes. I'm a huge Elvis fan. So there's a lot of Elvis episodes. But if you don't like Elvis, there's sports, music, movies, TV shows. There's a lot to offer on the. I think I have 40 episodes up on the channel right now.
Oh wow! And yeah, I've seen some of those. I love the glasses you use. Sometimes that one that's a vinyl record is pretty cool. Like it's good stuff there. Check it out. Top of the Hops there. Now before we get out of here, we do a little guessing game called the Starting Lineup Figure 5. With a guest, we add an additional question. That's 6 questions. So normally there's one figure in a box. Jared, I tell them the sport, and then he's got to figure out who it is. And if he gets it, I get to unbox it. If not, it goes back in the garage in the storage box. Today is a classic doubles edition. I figured 2 people, let's do that. Classic doubles is when 2 comes in a set. Now it could be, something like, John Elway in a Stanford jersey and a Broncos jersey, or it could be like, Joe Namath and Dwight Clark because of the Clark connection. So today is going to be a baseball one, and that's what you get. And most of the starting lineups are in the, late 80s to end of the 90s, but they did have they made a Roger Staubach. So they did have like classic, Babe Ruth one. So you got to think wide picture here. So it is a combination of 2 baseball players in the classic doubles here. And Jared, I assume you would like to take first question here and show Mike how it's done without further ado.
All right, this might be a stupid question to lead it off. We are talking 2 different baseball players, correct?
Correct. I won't even count that as a question, but yes.
Okay, I appreciate
they have
that.
a connection. There's a connection between the 2.
Okay. Since we've done a lot of World Series talk on this show, is one of the players depicted as a New York Yankee?
Yes.
Ooh.
By the way, Adam, you need to pull down the camera you're sharing. That you're on Baseball Reference right now.
Right. Oh, because you could see the back. Mike can't.
Yeah, because I could see that, and that might spoil it.
All right. Next question.
Oh, by the way, what was the answer to the question?
The answer is yes. Depicted as a Yankee. Actually,
Okay.
both are.
Ooh.
Okay.
Who wants to take question 2? Mike, you're up.
I'm up. Okay. Are any of these guys Hall of Famers?
One is indeed a Hall of Famer. One is not, but probably borderline.
They're both Yankees, right? Okay. Are they World Series champions?
Yes, both are multi-time World Series champions.
Are they part of a battery?
Yes, I have a feeling we're going to get one of these guys right now. All right.
Is one of them Jorge Posada?
No.
Ooh.
You get one, we get it out of the box. So Riker's got last question here before you have to take a guess. So you can try and clear up the picture a little more here.
Is one of them Mariano Rivera?
No.
Ooh.
It's on the floor there. Any more guesses? You got one more guess. Questions are out. You get the guess now. So one last stab.
I'm going to let Mike go because I saw the Baseball Reference page that you pulled up. So I feel like I know the answer for at least one of them.
There you go.
Wow. I'm going to guess Andy Pettitte.
No, thinking on the wrong side of the battery.
Ugh.
We've got a Yogi Berra and Thurman Munson. One's batting, one's catching, but they're both catchers. As part of the 98 Classic Double Series there, you see with the old school catcher protection there with Thurman Munson. who is obviously the guy that is not a Hall of Famer, but probably should be. And then Yogi Berra there, who is a 10-time World Series champion. It's unbelievable.
That's cool. I like
any
that
connection to the Thurman Munson? I mean, you watched Thurman Munson when you were, so I mean, what was your connection to him?
I was actually, I was living in Louisiana at the time. But when I was 8 years old, I was here in New York when Munson passed away. So I actually went to my first ever Yankee game was a few days later. It wasn't the Orioles series, but they played another series after that against the Chicago White Sox. And that was my first ever Yankee game. I was 8 years old. My uncle took me. And yeah, just being in that building, it was still very surreal and very somber. I remember that, even thinking that as a kid. And the White Sox spanked the Yankees that night, 7-3. But I was able to see Reggie Jackson hit a home run, which was kind of cool.
That's nice. That's like the one time I got to see Barry Bonds. I got to see him hit a home run. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's fine by me. I got to see one of his many. But next week, Thurman Munson and Yogi Berra will not be joining the starting lineup studio audience. Who's in there today? So Ron Dane got out of the box last week. So today's theme was guys who are way better in college than they were in the pros. You see Ryan Leaf there on the left. Ron Dane there, and I've tried to incorporate all of our football teams. There's Kyle Brady, one of the all-time Jets whiffs, 9th overall that year. And then Ricky Williams on the right there, who probably did better than those other three, but still not quite worth trading an entire draft for.
I walked out of CBS. I used to work for CBS, and I walked out one day. It was a Saturday afternoon. I never forget this. And I was wearing a Ricky Williams jersey, and Mike Ditka came out of the elevator. I guess he was doing something for NFL that day, and he looked at my jersey. He goes, "Nice jersey," and walked off.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, the fact that he just stuck with it the whole time. Like he staged the second half of his coaching career on that move, and he's gonna die on that hill. Good for you, Mike.
Yep, big fan of Ricky Williams, obviously.
Yeah, I kind of wish more coaches would do that. Like we need more craziness when it comes to the draft.
It's like, I'll give you a whole draft because I really believe in this guy. Like, it would never happen again because that GM would
especially for a running back.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's like this quarterback prospect that is like a Shohei Ohtani quarterback equivalent. But yeah, no, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But nonetheless, it has been really fun today to rip some packs open with at Mr. Jared Moore there. And of course, Mike Riker down below at the top of the Hops podcast. Mike, thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you, gentlemen. Great to see you guys.
Awesome to see you as well. And we'll be back. We did a Thursday episode this week because that's when we could get Mike, but we'll be back to Mondays coming up here real soon. So without further ado, we'll see you next week on an all-new episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel.